Hi everyone, I'm going to tell you today about my Volkswagen e-Golf. It's a little bit different than a normal Mark 7 Golf in the fact that it's not got a combustion engine. It's actually battery powered and that drives an electric motor. Apart from that, there's not a lot different between this and a normal Mark 7 Golf. From the outside it looks the same, apart from a blue stripe across the front edge of the bonnet and some blue accents on the logos. The wheels are a little bit different, but apart from that, to the untrained eye, they're not that noticeable. And there's some LED lights on the front bumper which kind of give the game away that this is something a little bit different. The version I've got has the heat pump installed, which is an absolute definite must, so it makes a real big difference having the heat pump. I've got the leather pack and winter options for heated seat, folding mirrors. So when you lock the car up, the mirrors fold in so they get snapped off. But importantly, what's it like to drive? Well, the first thing is, it's really quiet and it's very easy to drive. In fact, there's much less in here to contend with than there is in a normal manual car. First of all, there's no gears. You just put it into drive and you've got a go pedal. There is a brake pedal, but if you put it into regenerative braking mode, you'll find that as you lift off on the accelerator, the car will slow down. You've got the normal kind of storage space that you have in a Mark 7 Golf. The boot isn't restricted in any way. You've got just the same amount of storage as you would have in the normal version of the car. The stereo system is very clever. You can plug in your iPhone into the stereo, and using Apple CarPlay. The satellite navigation system in this car is already pretty good. You can find chargers. It will show you how far away you are from home. It will tell you, it gives you a warning on the dash if you're going to go further away than the actual range that you have and the battery, so you know when to turn around and go home or when to look for a charger. It will also navigate to the nearest charger for you, which is pretty amazing. So it's calculating that all of the time. So really the thinking's been done for you. You've got to really try to break down in this car. There's a thing on this car called CarNet. And CarNet allows me to connect to the car and heat it up. You can't do this with a normal car. Before I get into it in the morning, so or when I'm away from home. So you can remotely connect using a phone app, or even if you've got one of these things, an Apple Watch, and you can start your car heating up. You can even defrost the windscreen with the heated windscreen option that's on the car to get in and safely drive away instantly from work or from home, able to see where you're going and what you're doing without having to scrape the windscreen off. So it's just nicer, just more comfortable and nicer experience to live with this car. Another great feature of this car is the heated seats. Absolutely love it. When it's the winter and it's really cold outside, getting into a car with heated seats is an absolute godsend. The number one criticism of electric cars is the range. Well, what can you do in this? Well, I have done 100 miles in this on one charge. You have to be very thrifty to do that. You have to turn off all the heating, put it in the Eco Plus mode, which pretty much restricts everything in the car, even the speed. Actually, if you drive it normally, you'll normally get around about 85 miles from a charge. But the thing is, very rarely will you ever do that. If you've got one of these cars, 99% of people in the UK will only drive around about 30 to 40 miles in a day. So when you get home at night, it's a bit like owning an iPhone. You plug the car in, and in the morning, you've got a full charge again. So you've got another 85 miles to go. So actually, I'm probably saving around about £100 a month to drive this car. So what's it like to drive from a speed point of view? Well, it's pretty quick. Off the line, it will leave most things for dead. It accelerates really rapidly. I'm comparing this to a normal car, not to a hotted up car, but actually off the line this will beat a GTI to 40 miles an hour. It'll cost you next to nothing to do that. It's quick enough for what most people will need. There's an auto cruise control which I use every day, which has a radar system in the front of the car that scans to see if people are in the way and maintains a consistent distance between you and the vehicle in front. If you want to get into a parking space and you don't like parking, e-Golf is probably the car for you. It will actually park itself automatically. Put it in reverse. There we go. Job done. Having a car that when you get in it in the morning is nice and warm already, that saves you money to drive it, is really comfortable to actually be in and quiet when you're in it, and there's loads of gadgets that you can't get on a standard car, it's really got to be a good idea in my book.